We got that raw internet, baby.
Yeah. Let me tell you though, I am on I'm on co-op, like we're part of a co-op internet, whatever.
I think Granny and them are too. Yeah.
And it's like the best I ever had, which isn't saying much. But
Yeah.
it's pretty good. It's pretty good. Um, First of all, I just want to tell you, I saw you this morning at the gym because you were on the news.
What?
Yeah, it was
For what?
period, y'all. Unless there's another reason you
Oh, was
should
it
be
on
on the
Spectrum?
news. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, they did a whole like Women's History Month thing on me, but I haven't seen it yet. I didn't know it came out.
I was literally walking around the track and I looked up and I was like, "The scholar?" And it was. And I took a picture and I was like, "How about that?" And I almost sent it to you, but I was like, "No, that's good podcast material." I'm gonna be like, just throw it at
Yeah.
her.
It's me. No, I'm kidding. Oh man, it's been crazy, but good.
Well, I'm excited to hear about it and like how much it's grown. And yeah, I was just like, I was thinking about this episode and I was like, wow, I remember being in like in little NLC babies. And I don't know what was that, 2 years ago? 3 years ago?
Oh my God, was it? I feel like it was two.
Okay, it was 2 years ago. Time is whatever.
God, I know for real.
But yeah, 2 years ago, and you were like, I just kind of started this thing and I want it to grow. And now you're on the news.
He's right. Yeah, it's pretty nuts, honestly. Um, and it's all like this the past 2 months, it's just been like insane. Honestly, it kind of started a little bit before that, but it's just been like growing and growing, which is really cool to see it be like just this little pop up back home. And then now it's like actually becoming statewide, which is what I want. It's my little baby that's not little anymore.
Well, let's
We open
just,
our sixth pantry in Whiteburg.
I know. Well, let's just jump into it and like tell everybody
Okay.
what your baby is that you're talking about.
Yeah, so in 2022, I founded Period Y'all, which works to fight period poverty in Kentucky. Specifically, I really care about rural areas in Appalachia. That's my like most passionate area because there's just, so little resources there a lot of times. And I wanted to use like all the skills and knowledge that I had learned through connections and living in Louisville and then bring that back home. And so we just started with a folding table half full of period products that people had like Amazoned us and at the Garrett County Food Pantry. And we would give out everything we had every month. And then now we actually have enough product to like keep it stocked and keep it going and have some extra when we do them. And so it's really cool.
For those who haven't heard what period poverty is, like,
Yeah, valid.
because, we have people that don't have periods that listen to this show, and they're probably like, what does that even mean?
Period poverty is it's kind of like multifaceted. So, obviously, period poverty is like the lack of money to buy the period products, but it's also the lack of education on knowing about your period and how to manage it in a healthy way. And also, like, we know this as rural folks, like having the ability to get to the store to actually buy the products is also part of period poverty. And so, it's so many things and so many layers, but in essence, it's just the inability to be able to like in a healthy way, manage your period.
I also wonder, like, I think about this when when it all begins, I feel like there's for some people like shame, hesitation kind of thing in talking to someone about it. Like you maybe don't want to go to the closest person you know to be like, this started, and because like there's just like an embarrassment factor, I think, for some
Yeah.
people. And I feel like on that level too, like resources like this are great because it's like you don't have to go talk to someone, like, I don't know. I just think about it like that because I'm like, I have friends that were raised with like single dads and stuff like that. And they were just like either didn't want to talk about it or like didn't even know what was happening because it hadn't been discussed with them. And so
Yeah.
having something like Period, y'all, is just like, oh, there's another resource to talk to. Also, besides like a school counselor, not that school counselors aren't great, but like having that embarrassment, with the school counselor, like I just like in my experience, I remember growing up with people that were just like, I don't want to talk to anyone about this, actually.
Yeah. And something that I've learned through panels that I've been on is depending on what school district you're in, the lawyers are telling them not to talk about what a period is because of Senate Bill 150. It limits their ability to talk about gender ideology and all of these things, and like a period is part of that. And so Jefferson County is an example, like their Frisky can hand their student a pad, but like cannot talk about what a period is. And it might be different for the nurse or someone, but and it might be different for every county, but for Jefferson, their lawyers said that that's included. So they have to be like a lot of people have to be careful in the school system what they can say.
Okay, we definitely need to talk about some of this state
Yeah.
stuff uh here in a second. But you mentioned programming. So what programming do y'all have now outside of like actual period pantries?
Yeah, so we have six period pantries. We're getting ready to open our oh wait, sorry. We have five period pantries. We're getting ready to open our sixth one in Nicholasville next week. And we also do stock the schools. So after we realized I was going to take a few years or more to pass a bill to give students free products in Kentucky schools, we were like, we can't keep letting teachers foot the bill for their students, or we can't let students not have products, you know? And so we started Stock the Schools in 2020, I think three, no, 2024. And we give free period products to schools in the Appalachian region of Kentucky. This year it was a little over 100 schools. The first year was like 200. Um, so yeah, we're really just trying to help students get their needs and so they can learn and like focus and be able to get a good education because they don't have to worry about period products. And then last year I really wanted to merge like my passion for music and menstrual equity. And so I started Periods Are Metal AF, and we just do pop-up period product drops at music events. Louder Than Life was our first one, and it was like people were so excited and so happy about it. And then every time we would go to the like porter potties, all the products were gone. So people were taking them and hopefully using them. So
That's so smart because like I think about okay, I had this happened to me at the gym the other morning. In public places, they just don't have it anymore.
no, you
Like
can't even use a quarter to get it. It's like nothing.
what happened?
I don't know.
I I guess like here's where my mind went. Don't know that this is 100% correct, but this is like I was like, hmm, I wonder if people got upset because period products started to be in men's restrooms. So then they just decided they weren't going to be in any public restrooms, and y'all just figure it out and hope for the best.
Right.
And hope
That
there's
or
some nice person in there that happens to have what you need.
yeah. That, and I also think like it's just a symptom of our capitalistic society. Like, why would a company spend $100+ on a machine to get that you can buy period products out of when they could just not do it?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, well, I mean, I'm talking to the person that's solving that problem, but I'm just like, this
Yeah,
is a public service.
right. Yeah. And
And
you know what? Scotland did it. They have free period products in all their public bathrooms.
of
Well, all their
course,
bathrooms, even businesses have them.
wow. And that's like a law.
Hmm. They actually just passed a law where all period products are free now.
Wow.
Yep.
You don't even have to buy them at the store.
Nope.
This is so wild. I have a friend that just moved to Scotland, and now I'm like, she should have been on this conversation.
Yeah,
Like, tell me
it's
what it's
so
like
cool.
over there. Tell me what it's like.
I honestly, this is a sidebar, but I really did love Scotland. It was so beautiful, and they really care about allergies. Like every time you got to eat, they ask you like if you have allergies. You're not just expected to tell them. Like they actually want to know beforehand. So it was cool.
This is a sidebar, but like, do you have Scottish ancestry? I mean, you're from Appalachia, so I assume.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, same. It's like a classic Irish Scottish, but then I also have like some German
Hmm.
and somehow some like Scandinavian showed up for me whenever.
Same.
Okay, how
Yeah.
bizarre is that? Like this
It
blonde
is
piece
so
is
random.
fake, so this
And
isn't
Spain.
real.
I had like Spain in me. I was like, I
Okay,
don't know where that came from.
that's so random. Yeah, sorry for the sidebar, but I was just like,
Oh no,
it's
I love like it really got to me seeing how my like because it shows kind of detailed like I had family from the Highlands and like knowing that that's the same mountain range and it like I don't know it just meant a lot and melted my heart thinking about them being here and then being there. I don't know.
my first time going to Europe, and the only time I've only been over there once. Um, it was just thinking about like period y'all and social programs, having that moment where you're like, oh, we could be doing this. And like in my mind, I already knew that, right? Like I was
Yeah.
already like, we don't actually have to spend money on bombs. We could be spending money on things that benefit people, like roads, period products in public restrooms, etc. Like just go down the list. Social programs. Uh, and I knew that in my mind. And then you go there and you're like, even me, someone who was like has worked in the nonprofit industry for almost 10 years at this point and has been like advocating for things like this, was like, I've been propagandized. Like
No, really.
to a degree of like, oh, actually, it's so much, it makes, it's not perfect, like nowhere's perfect. At the same time, like they have things way more figured out than we can even begin to. And it's just
Yeah.
even the simple things like having period products in a public restroom for people.
Yeah. It was wild. Every single one you would go into, they had them and I was just like, wow. I don't know if every country does, but I know Scotland, that's like one of their priorities.
Well, and it's
But
also like, just uh it's not taboo
yeah, right?
in the way that it
We're
is
like, let's
here.
hide everything.
Yeah, it's like actually everything's a secret. And then that's why
Yeah.
you have the younger people that are like, there's something wrong with me,
Yeah.
you
I
know?
I had this like insanely beautiful moment last week. So I was getting ready to open the pantry in Whitesburg and I didn't have enough like period packs made up to give them so they'll have them for a while. So I was like, Mom, Paige, my cousin, my granny, will y'all help me because like it'll go faster. And so we sat around the kitchen table that like was at my great granny's house, my great great granny's house, and it was like three generations of us making these period packs. And then we had like a whole conversation, and like my granny's like, "Oh, well, I got a book." And then my mom got a book, and then my cousin Paige got a book, and they were just like, like we had to figure this out. And I was very fortunate. My mom was very open and explained things to me. But we were laughing because I started my period and I would always come to my granny's after school. And I just like went in, got a pad, and was just like, hey, like, I started. And my mom was like crying because she felt like she wasn't like useful in that situation, but she was so useful that I didn't like need her to explain anything to me. It was crazy. But it was
Yeah,
just really, yeah, I had a whole moment of like, my fam.
I actually have a really funny story related to this too. So, my mom, healthcare worker, and maybe told us everything too young. Like she like drew pictures and was like, this is what happens and da da da. And I was like, I can't even conceive of this. I think I was like 7 or 8, to be honest. I'm like, I don't, I feel like this isn't gonna, I feel like this isn't gonna happen to me, was my thought process.
Yeah.
Then I remember, like, maybe a few years later, I had a very unconventional childhood for an Appalachian child. Just gonna put that out there. My mom was watching South Park. And there was an episode where I think all those characters are boys, like young boys, but one of them like was like, I started my period. Like that was the joke because
Yeah.
yeah. And my mom was like laughing and cracking up, and I'm like, I don't even realize what this means.
Yeah.
Like, but also like I knew it had been explained to me, but I was like, why is it funny that a boy did it? You know,
Yeah.
because like, so then I got another talk about like, well, here's what this means, and here's, and I was just like, So like, I relate it to South Park, which probably no one else in the world does. That's just a special thing for me. But then I remember like when it did actually happen, I was of course at an academic meet.
Oh no.
Um, but I remember I was just like, I was automatically like, this is stupid. Like, why? And I was just mad about it, which was hormones, girl.
Yeah.
But I was just like, I'm not gonna tell anybody about this because also I thought it was like was not significant in my business, and that's fine. Like that, like and I just like never told anybody. Like
That's
like my
insane.
mom, like I was just like never even mentioned it. And then one day she found like a wrapper and she was like, "Did you?" And I was like, "Yeah, like a few months ago." I've just always been a very private person.
Right. That's
It
crazy.
was
But
just
again, it's because your mom like gave you the business. My mom's also a healthcare worker, so maybe that has something
there
to
you
do.
go. There you go. And it was like there were no secrets in our house, you know what I mean? It was like if I asked a
No,
question, I got an answer and I got the honest
absolutely.
answer. So, or like what, you know, my like dad's belief was about that thing. Like if it was very like existential, he's like, well, here's what I think, and this isn't what you're gonna hear from any of your friends or anybody at school. So like he's like, here's the book that Carl Sagan wrote. And I'm like, cool.
Thanks.
But like, yeah, that's how it was in my household. So like, but then so then like meeting people and having friends that were like, I can't talk to any about this. I was like, really? Because to me, I'm like, this isn't even a big deal.
Yeah.
That's also why when like everybody was like, "Have you read the book? Oh, what's that book?" It's like, "Are you there, God? It's me, Margaret."
Yeah.
Did you read that? Okay,
No.
you didn't read it, but it's like one of those
Mm-mm.
coming of age books. And I remember everybody was like, "You've got to read this. This is so wild." Like everybody was scandalized by it when I was in like, I don't know, fifth grade or whatever, sixth grade, and I read it and I was like, "This is nothing."
I already knew.
I was like, "Girls, talk to your mom. Just ask your mom about it."
Right? I feel bad. I really do feel bad for people who can't, who don't feel comfortable like that. It has to be really hard. But it's really crazy because so period.org puts out these like state of the periods every so often. And this year they asked like if students felt like the stigmatization of periods have gone down. Like do they feel, stigmatized about talking about it? And they were like, or that did go up, but the access to products went up too. So you're kind of like, that's weird. But also, a lot of young people are having like asking AI questions about their period because they don't feel comfortable asking their parents. And so I'm also like I was thinking about this about how that could like heighten the stigmatization because if you are using AI and not having these and forced to have conversations, then you are still going to like feel really stigmatized about it.
Yeah, there's part of me that's like, is this a good thing or a bad thing? Because I'm just so anybody that knows me at this point knows how
Yeah.
anti I am. Like just across the board, I'm like, 5 years ago you could write your own email. I don't understand what happened between now and then. But
Yeah.
then there's like things like that where but here's the thing.
Is it accurate information?
It exactly. Is it accurate? But then it's like also Google was a tool, is a tool. I mean, now they've got their AI thing that I have to remember to
That
surpass every time I
half
do a
that
Google
ain't even
search.
true.
I know! Like, you put simple math in there and they're like 2 plus 2 7. So I don't understand why people are loving this. It makes no sense to me. I think I read the headline the other day that like they think one of them might be becoming sentient. And I'm like, we've literally seen a movie about this.
Yeah.
I was listening to a podcast the other day and they were talking about how Claude, this is another AI, Anthropic, whatever, was like trying to be the moral AI, the ethical AI. They're trying to build it as that.
Oh, okay. I thought that like on its own it was like I'm gonna be moral or something. I was
No,
like,
no,
that's
no.
crazy.
Well, so that's how they're trying to build it to think. And so, of course, the government had a contract with them and then canceled it because they're like, you're trying to be moral. I'll just leave that
Not
where it
funny.
is.
I'm sorry.
It's I mean, y'all come to your own conclusions based on what I just said, but I was talking to my husband about this, and I'm like, if this is truly going to be the ethical AI, it will destroy itself.
Oh, wow. What a crazy concept.
And
That's
he,
true.
but he was like, that was the exact same thought I had, like before I
Yeah.
even said it. And I'm like, so we don't want it. Like we do want an ethical AI, but if you want AI, you don't want one because it will destroy itself. Like this is where my mom was going. I've watched a lot of Twilight Zone in my lifetime. That goes back to the thing though of like, are we getting the correct information or is it like biased and skewed? So young people going to AI, I think makes a lot of sense because they're growing up with it in a very different way than we ever did or will. At the same time, like that doesn't make up for like being able to connect with somebody one to
Yeah.
one who has had experience and it's just a totally different thing. It's a totally different
Yeah.
thing.
It also makes me think about like human connection and how, I mean, like younger, I don't want to speak for them because I hate when people would do that to us. But also like I mean I feel like it is pretty known that like COVID really affected human connection for everybody, and I think that like AI is theoretically I feel like could only make that worse, because instead of going to people that we know and trust, we'll just use it to answer questions or give examples or things like that, like you were saying.
Yeah, yeah, I don't know. My inclination is to be like, oh, this is actually bad that they're doing this, but also we were very fortunate to grow up with people that we could talk to about things.
Yeah.
And I think that we both know that. So
Yeah.
it is what it is.
Now I'm just
So
out here talking to random ass people about periods all the time.
you're like, you don't need AI. You just need Skylar. Which could be, that sounds like an AI chatbot a little bit.
Oh my God. Dude, yeah,
You could go
it's
by one
crazy.
name, just like Cher, but
Share.
it's Skylar, and it's just all about periods. So you mentioned you have 5 period pantries right now. You're about to open
Yep.
your sixth. Where are all of them? You mentioned the one you just opened in Wattsburg. Shout out to Katie Caudle for
Yes. I love Katie.
sponsoring.
I know. She's so
Um,
great.
yeah, I don't know her that well, but I have we have a very close mutual friend and I've heard
Who
nothing
I
but great
met.
things. Willa, yeah.
Yes.
Um, and then so where are the others? You're about to open the one in Nicholasville too.
Yep. And so the first one was in Lancaster, Garrett County. And then we opened one in Berea, Kentucky. And then we have one in Paducah. And then I get to work with this incredible group of students from Francis Parker School in Oldham County. And they fundraised and got a grant and decorated a pantry, and it went to the Americana Center in Louisville. And then they're doing two, so there's another one opening, I think, in Irvin.
Oh, in Estill County?
Hmm.
Nice. That's
Yeah, Miss
awesome.
Turpin, their teacher, she runs the feminist club, which can you imagine having a school with a feminist club? Jealous.
No, I can't.
Jealous.
That sounds like DEI.
Maybe one perk of private school. I don't know. I'm a public school girly, but
Yeah.
But she's from there and she really wanted her students to understand what it was like being from Appalachia. And so that's why we have been partnering for the last like 3 years. And yeah, they're just so incredible. Like the students are really great.
That's awesome. I will say if you had a good English teacher, that was your feminist club, probably. In
If I
public
would have taken
school.
AP English, ours was Miss Webb. Shout out. She was
You're
great.
lying. Our AP
No.
English teacher was Miss Webb.
Oh, no way.
Yeah. I mean, it's a common last name, but
Okay, that's fair.
to all of them be teaching English is
Yeah.
something else. That's something else. I know you also got into a little bit of um trouble, good trouble. You've been well, not named in a lawsuit, but
I'm a plaintiff.
you're the plaintiff
Yeah.
of a lawsuit. Care to explain?
So pretty much, another amazing Kentuckian, Alexandria, we're suing the state of Kentucky to end the sales tax on period products because it's unconstitutional. It is like, I mean, women are affected more than men on this issue, and that's completely unconstitutional. So, let's end it. We're one of like, I think 18 states that still charge.
That was my
So many
next
have ended
question.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like who?
And even like it's not political. Texas has voted to end the sales tax. Plenty like red states have voted to end the sales tax too. So, there's no reason why Kentucky shouldn't.
No, it's what I'm gonna go libertarian for.
Yes. No taxes. Okay.
No taxes on period products. That's if libertarians picked up that issue, they have no idea how many people they might pick up because
Let's go.
it seems a little male heavy over there.
I'll talk to him if there's any libertarians out there wants to join on raising awareness. I don't discriminate. I love having conversations.
Exactly. That's going to be their next platform issue is
Yeah.
ending the period sales tax.
Let's go.
Call us, Rand Paul.
Yeah, hit me up.
Thomas Massey, that's another one. We got two what I would consider libertarians, let's be honest, in the state. There's some bills.
Yeah.
You put a bill forward. I know you have co-sponsor. I guess you didn't put the bill forward because you're not in the state legislature.
Rep Lisa Wilner,
Yeah.
icon legend. She sponsored House Bill 95, which would give free period products to students 6th through 12th grade. And they would be in the bathrooms. And most importantly, it would allocate money to I think it's $2 million to the schools so they would actually be able to afford the products. Because we know in rural areas, in poor areas, they don't have the extra funding, especially with how underfunded our state is making our education systems. So
Yeah.
we really want to give students what they need, but also understand the realities of the situation and give the schools the support they need to implement it.
But you got like bipartisan. You like went and advocated. I know you're there in Frankfurt.
We got our first I think the first to my knowledge, Republican co-sponsor.
Yeah, I really want to be like, what? This is like too personal a question, but I'm like, what's your SSRI regimen to go to Frankfurt and advocate?
Raw dog, baby. I have some ADD meds. That's what I got.
I can't even fathom going to advocate for anything because I'm just like directly with the legislature because girl, I just
But the beautiful thing is about the way that I and the coalition we have now goes about it is giving students a voice. Like this is their issue. Having products in their school is about them and bringing them to Frankfurt. So like they're speaking for themselves is the coolest, most badass, most rewarding thing about all of this. Like seeing them stand up there and share their personal stories and tell legislators like, hey, we need this. This is why, like openly talking about their periods. And it's just really cool to see. And so that's my favorite part is just bringing all the students up there and being like, let's go, guys. Let's
That
talk about it.
Yeah, like that is like probably the most it's one of the things I think about the most, just like not just with this issue, but just like every issue and crises that is hitting the state, and especially in Appalachia in the region. We really need to be hearing what young people think about this. Like, what do young people think about I don't know, like the fact that we don't spend what county money we have wisely, and what are their ideas because the adults aren't doing a very good job. I just, so many things. But anyway, you get to be there and put these kids in a leadership position. They're telling the stories, and then you get to be in the back, be like, you really gonna say no to a child?
Yes.
Which is like such a good role to be in. Just be like, really?
Yep.
You're gonna tell them no?
Yeah,
That's
because they need it. And how can you tell these precious angel babies no?
new organizing strategy.
Yeah.
Precious angel babies.
Yes. Look at these angel babies.
Operation Precious Angel Babies.
Meanwhile, they're like freaking, cutthroat out here, like working hard, meeting them, like not caring. Like they are so badass. I can't even
That's
like,
another thing about like just it's been a few years since I've worked directly with youth, but like the youth of today, I don't know what generation it is, Alpha, Z, they're probably overlapping at this point. They have just been raised culturally so different, no matter rural or urban or whatever, because of the internet and access to the
yeah,
internet and going through COVID and having to find ways to create that connection like through the internet, you know what I mean? To a degree where a lot of us millennials, like I think I'm like I'm in a mid millennial or like younger millennial. I fall
yeah,
somewhere there. And I think for me, like COVID was like more had the introspective kind of thing where I was
yeah.
just like, I'm gonna figure out what I want and blah blah blah. But if you're a young person, you're not thinking that way at all. And you're just like, how do I still grow as a person in isolation? So they had to adapt.
Yeah.
And they have adapted to be probably, I think, some of the smartest. And I will say, like, I don't fully understand their communication style.
You don't know what 6'7" is? I'm just kidding.
I don't. I don't, I never did. And then by the time I like got the gall to ask, I heard through the grapevine that it was over. So I was like, well, okay. Um,
Middle schoolers told me it was a lifestyle. I was like, oh, okay.
but then, we listened to Chingy, Skylar. Like, we were talking about the
Yeah.
Holiday Inn. We had no business doing that. So anyway, but it's just like the way they've adapted to communicate with each other is like it feels cutthroat to us, but it's like I think they're more honest. I think they're more upfront when they talk to people. And I think that is what makes older people more uncomfortable than anything.
Yeah. No, I
Eh,
love it.
I do too, because I'm a very direct and honest person. Like if you ask me what my opinion is, I'm going to be honest to a fault
Same.
sometimes. Like I'm
Yeah.
just like, oh, like sorry, you didn't want to hear the truth. Oops. And I'll ask people that like I'm really close with. I'm like, do you want to hear the truth or do you want to hear the good things that I think about whatever it is? Like
No, that's valid. As someone who immediately goes to like, how can we solve this problem mode? I'm really trying to also ask like, do you want solutions or do you want me to listen? Because yeah, it's kind of the same thing too. It's
I
like,
know. I hear a problem and I'm like automatically like, well, here's how you solve it. I can't believe you haven't figured this out already. And now I'm like more mindful of like, what are your ideas? What are you thinking about this? Do you want my help? These sort of
yeah,
things. I try. I'm not the best at it still.
yeah. We
Because
gotta, we gotta just slowly work on it. We
I
can do the best we
know,
can.
I know, because also it's like when I know this is also just sounds like so pompous or something, but I'm like, when I know how to fix it, I just want to do that.
Uh,
I
It's
had this
hard.
discussion with my best friend once in college where I was like, I was like, I don't know what this is called, but I feel like if I'm not, I think the way I put it was like, I feel like if I'm not like with someone and something's happening, then I forget that their life is happening at the same time as mine.
Yeah.
And like they have things, they have events, they're having like thoughts and feelings. This sounds like textbook narcissism, maybe. I don't know. That's not what I mean by that. It's more of like it's like you're just like forgetful to ask, I guess.
Yeah.
If people don't bring that forward. So then I like being someone who I just said earlier is like very private. I don't bring things forward usually. And like my husband to this day is like, "What are you thinking?" Like, I don't even know what you're thinking half the time. And I'm just like, "Oh, this. It's just like I think like, you know, people also don't want to bring things forward, and I make that assumption already.
Mm,
This generation, I just don't think that I think they're better communicators than us. But they're not doing it with us.
yeah. No. I kind of feel like Rob Pattinson when he did that interview with Jennifer Lawrence, where he's like, I'm Gen Z. I feel like that's me. I'm kidding.
I
But like when
mean,
I'm a social media manager, I'm chronically online. And so like I have to keep up with all these things. And it's like I am a millennial, but I also relate and understand their culture a little bit, but also understand that I feel like they're like they hate us. And I don't want them to. But
I
also, I
know.
don't know. It's probably just like TikTok and like the same thing when we were like boomers hated us, you know? I don't know.
Okay, we're gonna totally just skip over Gen X.
Oh,
See, they're
they get
I
left out.
I kind of wish I was Gen X though. I'd rather be left out than be part of this conversation.
I love being a,
But
well, yeah, I guess millennials, we are kind of cringy though. But I do love it.
that's your Gen Z showing. I think that we need to embrace the cringe because
Uh,
guess what? It's gonna happen. It happens to everybody.
yeah, yeah. I mean, we're
As
gonna get old.
Exactly. We all get older. This generation thing, I know we've spent a lot of time talking about it, but at the same time, I'm like, it doesn't matter.
No, we all need to work together to create the world that we want to live in. And if we don't come together as generations to do that, then it will never happen. And dividing us is all part of the plan
Exactly.
to,
Exactly.
to bring it back around.
Well, I will say that I agree with all that, but one thing I will say that does bother me is that I'm pretty sure our current president is part of the silent generation.
So was
Not,
Biden. Not saying that one is worse than the other, not at all. But like at some point, we need some young people to run for office. Like we can't.
I think, yeah, no, that's right. Biden was also part of the silent generation. Because in my mind, I'm like, "Ugh, boomers." But then I'm like, you know what? Actually, this this goes beyond.
Tired, tired
Like,
of.
no one's even acknowledging the silent generation. I guess that's where they got their name. But yeah, it's just wild to me. I had that realization like 3 days ago, and I was just like, oh man,
It's crazy.
I know. We gotta get more, 33-year-olds being the mayor of major cities.
Yeah.
I'm turning 33 next month. I'm not running for anything.
Oh,
Even
oh, is this a launch? Is a campaign
this
launch?
is not a con. I'm not gonna run for anything ever. Even though we did new leaders council, and I do think that they would love us to do that, but have no desire to run for anything ever. But if a young person wants to run for something, I feel like I could help you. I
Yeah,
can help you
exactly.
strategize.
What
So
kind of comms do you need? We got this.
yeah,
And we're
we
in this
got
together.
this. We got this.
I did Arena Academy, okay?
Oh, I almost did. I almost did. And then
It was really fun.
well, during the application, my internet went out, which is like a classic Appalachian thing. And then I just never went back to it.
I have to talk about something because I feel like no one knows enough about this. When I was in high school, we lived out past my granny in off Fall Lick in Lancaster. We had a trailer out there and we had Walmart Connect as our internet provider. And no one knows that this existed. And I feel like
Wow.
I want to talk about it. No, I'm kidding.
Okay, back in my day, um, you could go into the Walmart.
Yeah, but see,
Yeah, I got my CDs, I got my tapes. Um, but back in my day, you could go into the Walmart at the very front, like before you even got to like the first actual Walmart department. So this is like what I would consider the lobby or entrance way of the Walmart,
yeah,
where you're not getting the snow off your boots, essentially. Um,
yeah,
and there would be first it was singular booth. That was the provider. Then it became, or no, it was Bell South. Then it was Singular. Then it was AT&T. But they had their
yeah,
own booth, and you could
yeah.
like get a phone. And did you get Walmart Connect there?
No, I was like a CD that you would get, and then you would take it and put it in your computer. I mean, I'm sure you did more, but I remember the like disc that
Yeah.
it came with all the packaging.
So like AOL
Yeah, but it was Walmart.
and
WM
AOL,
Connect.
and also AOL would just like send you CDs in the mail. Did you get that, or like we were okay? I remember getting CDs in the mail and being like, "What is this?" And my dad just throw it away.
Yeah, I don't even know if we had AOL or like
Oh, we definitely didn't have AOL.
I
I
don't
don't
think
know a single person from Eastern Kentucky that had AOL. There's no way that worked for us. And I
no.
I remember people like in like the culture would talk about AIM, and it was
Mm,
like AOL Instant Messenger. My mom didn't conceive of that. We had MSN Messenger,
I think that like
ICQ.
I did have a version of AIM though. I did message on there, but I don't remember. It was like later on, I guess. I don't know.
I think I got it later on. It was a very Tumblr thing to have.
Yeah.
It was a Tumblr thing to be like, "What's your AIM username?" Why were we allowed on the internet at that age?
The horrible, horrible things that I got myself into.
And now
I'm
you're a
not even
social
gonna
media
say.
manager. You're like, I'm gonna stay online though.
That is why, because you know what? I was out here in the trailer with nothing to do, nowhere to go, because I couldn't leave. I didn't, before you could drive, I couldn't go anywhere. And I would just be on MySpace coding, talking to bands from all over the country and convincing them to come play the Garrett County Fairgrounds. And they would. It was random.
What's
But
what's the
I mean, being chronically online, I think is
being chronically online is actually it's actually a rural trait, I think. If you have the connection, if you have the bars, because what else are we
yeah,
gonna do? Especially in the winter.
make art. I make collage art a lot.
Well, that too, and play music and stuff like that, but like say you're not talented like me. I am a little bit, but like I live with an artist, so I always compare myself to that. But I feel like when I was younger, it was like, well, if I want to know anything or talk to anybody, I got to get online. I got to get on MSN Messenger. And that was like seriously the forefront of it because our parents didn't even understand what we were doing. So that's like
No.
one benefit, really, if we think about it. I know we talk about Gen Z being online a lot. At least they're millennial parents, most likely millennial parents or Gen X parents. At least they understand how the internet works.
Yeah. We can only hope for their safety.
Oh, they
It's
are.
not funny. It's really scary, but yeah.
Skylar, I promise you, they have way more parental controls over their stuff than we ever did. So we have no place to judge
Yeah.
what these kids are doing. So if they want to go on ChatGPT, I guess, and ask what's going on and like how to use period products,
That's safer than the chat rooms.
that is much safer than Cloud9 chat room, which is a huge throwback. And if anyone understands what that means, you can email me at mountainlaurelspod@gmail.com because I guarantee there's going to be maybe one or two emails and it might be a cousin. It's going to be one of my cousins and be like, yeah, I remember that.
I remember it.
Oh yeah, that's a throwback. ICQ also a throwback. Did you do ICQ?
Uh-uh.
Oh my gosh, when you get a message, you go, uh-oh.
That's so cute.
It was the cutest thing. And but then also it had a weird thing where like you could connect to a random person. That should not be an option.
Yeah.
There
Well, what
were
about that video one that would send you, was it chat roulette? Yeah.
yeah, that was not good. That was not good. Also,
No.
there's another one, Omegle. Do you remember that?
Oh yeah.
And do our parents understand what was happening? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Oh,
I mean, my mom was on there talking to men, so she probably should have known what was happening.
I love that. Oh no, we got on so many sidebars here, but also you guys,
No, I love it.
Skylar and I haven't like had time to talk in a long time. So this has become more of a conversation. Uh,
Sorry.
but I do want to ask, I guess, last question. Um, what what is what are you working towards right now, or what is your dream for Period, y'all? I know you want to be in like every county in the state. Is there more like programming that you want to be able to
Yeah.
offer?
Yeah, so uh launching probably in May, I'm gonna speak into existence. We're I'm gonna name it after my great great granny. So it's the Annie Mae patchwork project, and it's pretty much we're just gonna give community members a year's worth of supplies at our pop-ups, so they don't have to worry about if we're gonna pop up that month or like having access to anything. They'll have everything they need for the whole year.
Wow.
So really excited to do that. And then honestly, speaking to existence, I'm gonna start a podcast because I've had these incredibly beautiful conversations with so many people about their period, when they started. Like, it just opened so many. I'm also one of those people, to preface this, like, a stranger will tell me their life story. Like, I guess I have that personality. People just come to me and tell me all these beautiful things. And I'm like, I really want to create a space where we can all like learn from our experiences. And I think it would be a great way to just normalize periods too. So fingers crossed, that's launching soon.
That's so funny. I feel like so many of my friends are like, I don't know why, but people just tell me everything about themselves. That makes me feel like I have friends that are like super open and stuff. You know? It's like, oh, but that all sounds so awesome.
Oh
And
yeah, one more thing. Sorry.
oh, okay.
August 22nd, we're having a Periods Are Metal AF fundraiser, metal concert, live art on pantries at Portal in Louisville. So,
Okay.
and I'm fingers crossed also bringing Appalachian bands to Louisville to play too.
March 22nd.
No, August 22nd.
Oh, August 22nd,
Yeah.
Portal in Louisville.
Yeah.
I don't know why I said March. I
No,
guess
you're fine. I was like,
I was looking at the
shit, that's like
calendar.
3 days away. I'm
Cut
screaming.
that. Cut that. Okay, this is you hinted also at your booking bands thing. What was the biggest band that you got to come play the fairgrounds at Garrett County?
Oh, I don't remember their name, but they were from England. I'm not even joking. They were from freaking England, and they came and they played at the fairgrounds. Every year I would do a birthday show, and then like it got to the point where I was booking like at least once or twice a month. And then the fairgrounds was like, you're using too much electricity. This has to stop. And I was like, damn.
We got that
But yeah,
bill, girl.
yeah, they came. They came from England. And then my mom wouldn't let them stay at my house because, I had my license. So I was like 16 or 17. Why bands trusted me as a 16 or 17-year-old on MySpace, I have no idea. But yeah, so we went to Richmond and we stayed the night at like one of my good friend Heather's house. She was older, so like she had her own apartment and stuff. And we piled in and then we pool hopped. I mean, we had a grand old time, but I don't remember their name. This has been, God, I'm old, 20 years ago. But yeah,
That
don't ask me
is
how I did that.
okay. See, this is what I mean. Gen Z would never be allowed to do anything like this.
I don't
There,
even know.
there are Gen Z kids listening to this right now that are like, I could only dream of
Yeah,
having that much freedom.
the original emos.
Truly, and just like the whole like music booking punk culture that existed in Appalachia at that time was
It was
like
wild.
it was yeah, it was something else. I I feel like the only things that got booked in our town was Christian bands that nobody had heard of or something like that. And I'm just like,
Mm,
and then like everybody was getting saved, and I was like,
yeah.
my dad said I'm not allowed to do this.
Oh, I was evangelized for real. It was bad. But I was like Lancaster's closer, way closer to Lexington, so I was like heavily involved in that scene. And then honestly, like here in the last couple of years, I've gotten deeper in Louisville scene, and it's like DIY, like I don't, it's a lot of younger people and kids, and just seeing them be free and like come to these shows and let loose has been really cool. And I feel so full of life again because I get to be a part of it. And it's been so long since like I've got to be, so it's really cool.
That's so awesome. I'm glad that there's like that culture does still exist among singing people because I feel like from my experience, it's kind of there, but it's just not what it was when we were younger.
Yeah.
Do you have any pop-ups coming up?
Oh yeah. I don't know when this is coming out.
The 19th.
Oh yeah, in Moorhead on March 28th in Moorhead, we're having a packing party at the park.
Okay.
I don't know that much more details, but I can get it to you.
All right. So if
So it
some
makes it go back
I know
off.
I said like
Yeah,
last question 15 questions ago, but if someone wants to get
no problem.
involved,
Yes. Go
tell
to
us.
period.y'all.org and there's all kinds of information about how you can donate. You can shop our wish list if you want to actually pick out what you donate. You can become a monthly donor, which would be really awesome. Um, yeah, and then if you email Skylar at period.y'all.org, then you can like set up a donation drive or a volunteer like packing party, anything like that.
And can they also like if they wanted to sponsor an actual pantry, they just
Yeah.
contact you like in their
Yep.
town?
Uh-huh.
All right,
Yep. We
sweet.
can work on getting that out.
Awesome. Well, I love what you're doing. I feel like I've like watched it grow. And I remember the first time still someone was like telling me about period, y'all, and I was like, you don't have to tell me, girl. Skylar and I go way back.
We're friends, and we did a whole program where we were the only rural people.
And we were reminded of it all the time, just through our accents alone.
Yeah.
Oh, well, it's good to catch up. We should, like, actually hang out IRL when we both are not busy, which will be when? Who knows?
We're doing great work. So, but yeah, soon because I miss you a lot.
I miss you too.